Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our May PC Power Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you and your families are well. I hope you had a great Memorial weekend. I'm a little upset that none of you invited me to your barbecues, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it slide. I still love you all. Today should be a good, hopefully fun, hopefully pretty quick PC Power Hour. I'm joined with a couple of my colleagues today who are going to be talking about some fun stuff with our website. So let's start going through the agenda. So today we are going to be joined by our comms team, Gabby Pacheco and Sadhana Singh, the amazing dynamic duo, let me just tell you, who are going to be giving you a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a sneak peek of our new website remodeling. And so they'll walk through all of that and show you where the PC stuff lives, where the scholar stuff lives, and just outline all of that for you. They're also going to talk about some of the new scholar engagement. As you all know, we just went through our last application round, and they will talk a little bit about some of the engagement activities that we have for new scholars coming up. The other piece that's really happening right now is our renewal process. Our scholarship renewals are coming up. You guys know we do an annual scholarship renewal. So they will pass it back off to me to talk about that. And then we want to talk a little bit about some of the summer programming that we want to do with you all, and get some insight from you and talk about how we can be doing a little bit more deep dives in some of the programming that we're doing in support of our partner colleges. And then as always, we'll close off with an open forum so everyone can sort of share their thoughts and ideas. So with that, there's a couple of things on the agenda. Let me pass it off to the amazing dynamic duo. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chris. And for this first part is actually going to be Sadhana, who's going to take us through the new and improved website.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for being with us the day after a long holiday weekend. As Chris said, we're going to keep it fun and light and breezy for you. And hopefully you'll get to be the first ones to see our new website. So I'm Senior Communications Manager. I work very closely with Gabby, and one of the biggest components of our communication, methods here at TheDream.Us is our website. It's the #1 place where people learn about us, where we get the applicants coming every year for applications. So over the past year, our team has been working on what we're calling a refresh, but it's actually a complete redesign of our website. So what I'm showing you right now is the current website as it exists. Just wanted to walk you through what's there so you get a kind of like refresh of like what we've improved upon. So this is just the homepage. Up here is your partner college hub. As it exists right now, you have 4 sort of tabs or menu items here. You have latest news. So this is where I post every single one of those Wednesday PC Weekly emails that you receive. This is just sort of a database of the emails. If you think you missed one or you don't want to go search in your inbox for one, they're actually all posted here every week in latest news. Partnership toolkit. This is where you can find the where to go for what, like who is your relationship manager within the Dream.Us. Here are the program guides for our scholarship programs. Here is the description of the roles you all serve for us within our program, the directory of contacts, as you know, that Excel sheet that you use and filter to find contacts, and also instructions here on our EVR process, which that's how you help us get our scholars tuition paid a few times a year. So this is what's going to be here on our partnership toolkit in this portion, in promotion toolkit. As you know, some of you who've been with us for a while, this is where Gabby and I will debut the new materials every year for scholarship promotion. So this will sort of remain the same. Every October, we'll update this for you. And lastly, effective practices toolkit, where we put sort of the programming that we have for PCs, our presentations, info sessions, things like that. So you can come back here as a sort of reference library. So this is what it looks like now. Are you ready for what it's going to look like this summer? So this is sort of the brand new look and feel of our website. As you can see right up here, the menu has changed at the top. While we'll still be calling this PC Hub, Scholar Hub, the menu will now say for partner colleges. So you'll know that that is exactly where you go to get those resources. So this is going to be your landing page here in for partner colleges. Those tabs or the menu that I just went through are now going to be in these little boxes right across the top. Scholarship management, promotional toolkit, effective practices, PC directory. Here is what the new PC Weekly directory will look like. So if you come here for reference and you want to find a past email, this is now what it's going to look like. And you'll be able to see an archive of all the past emails as usual. So it's completely a whole new look and feel. It's a little bit more condensed, so not as a lot of the white space or the blank space. You don't have to scroll as long to find stuff on our website. What I do want to call out is the directory. So as I mentioned, the directory here is sort of the Excel sheet that you've all been used to. And then now we're changing it to be housed directly on our website. So I actually want to show you what that page will look like. So this is where individual partner colleges will sort of have their own landing page that gives information about their partnership with us. And this is what the new directory will look like housed on our website. So pretty much the same contacts that you would see on that Excel sheet, except it's going to be here as a standalone page. You can come to this page. You can see who we all have listed for your college. You can then, again, email your relationship manager to update these contacts. And we want to just give a reminder to do that this summer, this fall, as staff changes, things like that, because we'll definitely be putting this out on the new website once we debut. And then similarly, that was your partner college hub. We have a for current scholars hub as well. And this is what it will look like. So this is their landing page. Similarly, they're going to have a hub just like yours with resources tailored to scholars in college. So this is actually more in the draft process right now. So what I'm showing you on this landing page may not exactly look the same once it's debuted. We're still working on this, but basically they will find the same program guides here. They'll find now a calendar of events that's going on at TheDream.Us. This is something that we're really very excited about, that we'll have a calendar that's going to be interactive and scholars can come to one place to see all the events that are going on, and you will have the same as well. Again, their emails are going to be in news that we sent them, and they're going to have tutorials about their ISTS portal. Again, another link to that same directory that I just showed you. So they're going to have entry points into their resources. We've broken them up into 4 buckets of resources. So they're going to have college success, career success, immigration, and a wellness/mental health area for where they can find those resources. So while we are near finalizing this and our new website is looking to be debuted in about a month, we would like to have some reactions from you. We'd like to know, what are your first thoughts? What stands out to you? What do you think? How are you feeling about it? We hope that we have built this in a way that you will definitely utilize it and make the most of it, and that it will be super helpful for you as a liaison for TheDream.Us. So in the chat or with the emojis, let us know what you think. What is the reactions? Let's hear it. And Gabby, let me know if you want to add anything else.
I think one of the things that is really key for us is we want to make sure that these resources are at your hands, at your fingertips, for both your resources, but also the scholars. And the way we see the website is it's kind of like a first line of defense for everything. So even when you have a question, we want to make sure that the answers can be easily found on the website. And that if you have any other further questions, that of course you can come to us or you can go to ISTS for them. The same goes for our scholars, and we want to make sure that that information is really easily available for them. So I think the other thing is we have been, as you've been seeing from these PC Power Hours, but also the work that Chris, Hayne, and Melanie are doing in the programs team, is ensuring that there's also a lot of education that is happening among the colleges. And so we really want to ensure that there is a piece here for effective practices. And I'm sure that there's going to be more about this, but this is also where we want to be kind of a your old school library, right? But online, where you can find those resources that are most helpful for you. And so the effective practices is going to be kind of like a living page, living site where we're going to be adding information and things. So the other thing is that if you have things that you're like wanting, craving to ensure that are part of this website that is yours for your benefit and for your institutions, also please let us know. So a lot of the stuff in the effective practices are going to go there. I know that Hayne has been working really hard with President's Alliance for the higher education portal to do some of the work there on what they call as communities of practice. But yeah, so if you have anything that you want to add or you want to make sure that you're like, this is the one thing I need to be successful in the work that I do, please let us know. But I am seeing there is a lot of thumbs up and saying that the format is better. Looks great. Thank you all so much. We're really
Thank you
excited.
very much. And I'll pass it on to Gabby.
Great. So I want to first say, let you all know that I am coming to you from FIU. I'm right now in a office that I'm borrowing at FIU, and so I wanted to give a shout out to Florida International University and specifically to Tatiana Rivero and Laura Castillo, who are with us today. Thank you so much for all the incredible work that you do to support our scholars here at FIU. And we know that FIU is one of our largest partner colleges with the most amount of students. So thank you for lending me this space today to be with you. So what I wanted to tell you about is this fun new thing that we've been doing, and it's the New Scholar Central. And the New Scholar Central, we tried it last year and it was perfect for our students. People really loved it. And so as we are onboarding this new class of students, like you all saw in the emails that we sent out, this is a historic year for us. We've overextended ourselves to provide more scholarships to students. This is going to be a unique year. We don't foresee this happening in the years to come. But as we are onboarding these new students, we wanted to make sure that we gave the students as much information as possible and are at the fingertips. So we don't want them to miss anything. If it gets lost in their inbox, or we have a wrong phone number, or they change numbers, this is very not unique to this community. So in order to have and house all the information in one, we've created in the Scholar Hub, the New Scholar Central. And it's a one-stop website where not only are we putting the information about our summer career series, which we invite every single one of you to participate, and this is open to not just our current scholars, but also our new students. And so here you're going to see the schedule. And then the other thing that they're going to see is that we're going to send 5 emails. The first email already went out, and that email will be here. And as we start sending all the rest of the emails, each one of those emails will be here as well for the students to see. And they are going to know that the email is going to come out to them every 2 weeks. and it's going to be every Monday. So they're going to know not only the cadence, the consistency, but also the information of what's coming out in those emails. So the New Scholar Center also has a countdown to the New Scholar Welcome. If you've been seeing our New Scholar Welcomes every year, it's very exciting. We usually go live from a college campus. It is a virtual event because unfortunately we cannot bring our thousands of students together for it. But one of the things that we want to ask you, as you have done in the past, is we're hoping that with enough notice that you all can put together an event on campus, get a room to bring as many students as possible for them to get to know each other, get to know you, but also watch the New Scholar Welcome as a cohort together. And so we know that it's going to be August 10th at 2 p.m. So if you can start working and getting those rooms set aside and letting the students know, we're also letting the students know that some of you may come together on campus, and we've kind of given them a heads up. So that would be really, really awesome for all of you to do. And if we are around, it would be amazing. Let us know. Hint, hint, FIU. If you are going to be doing that, and I'm here in Miami, I would love to come together. And the other thing too is that in the past, I know that some of the colleges have banded together and have said, oh, it'd be awesome, especially if you're in the same area, to have the students from the different institutions. So for example, here, right, in Florida, we have the proximity of students at Miami-Dade College and those at FIU, maybe they can come together in one space. And for us, what's really important and why we even have this minimum of 10 students per college institution is the idea of the cohort model and the building community. And we know how powerful it is, especially when this community is isolated, when this community is really sometimes scared for them to find each other and support each other. And know that there's more than one person. I think it's really powerful. So if you all have the opportunity and the bandwidth to bring folks together, it would be awesome. So by a show of hands, or I am in, maybe you can put on the chat. Please let us know how many of you are thinking of bringing folks together for August 10th. I just want to see, so that once we start messaging, okay, wonderful. I'm starting to see those hands coming up. It would be, and thumbs up. Perfect. Yeah. So we'll make sure to, on our end, start letting the students know, hey, reach out to your scholar advisor, reach out to your institutions. Let's see ask them if they're going to come together. And so then the second thing I wanted to tell you about is that this year we're going to send swag to all your institutions again. My colleague Melanie is going to be working with you all to ensure that we have the correct address from last year, the correct point of contact. And so this swag, which is usually, a little token from us to the new scholars, it really is a way for us to help you all make the connection with your new scholars. And so part of what we do is, as you remember, in some of the newer institutions, what we do is that we send all the schools an amount of either pens, book bags, or little trinkets and stuff, little swag that you can use to incentivize the students to come and meet you for the first time and to come have a conversation with you and get to know who you are and the supports that you're going to be providing them from now until the time that they graduate from college. And so please be on the lookout. We are going to put this information in the PC Weekly so that you can update your contact information, address, and who is the person that is going to be receiving this. And we are going to send all this swag prior to our new scholar welcome in August, so that can be distributed. So we want as many as PCs as possible. Again, like I mentioned before, to bring scholars together on their campus. If you're not able to do so, that's okay. We will be hosting the new scholar welcome online, and anybody can really watch it through the Zoom link. But the most important thing we want is to ensure that the scholars are building community and building trust and rapport with every single one. So that is the end of my part of the presentation. But if anybody has any questions for either Sedana or myself, please let us know. And then I'm seeing that Angelica is having a question around the new scholar welcome. So the new scholar welcome will be geared towards new scholars. However, we definitely invite other students, current scholars, to participate. And we actually think it's really important to bring in those current scholars into it, not only to serve as volunteers, but also to kind of show the way. And it's also a fun event. We usually have really amazing speakers that are there. They get to hear from not just a college president usually speaks, but also the students that have been there, so a current student. And then we usually have some sort of like celebrity speaker. Last year we had one of the writers for Jane the Virgin, and he also just recently wrote his memoir, Rafael Agustin, and our scholars really loved him. So we are definitely working to get some sort of somebody with celebrity status that we've heard the scholars really love this, and it just makes it feel not just special but real, that this scholarship program combined with all of your institutions really care for the students and want to celebrate the fact that they belong, that we care about them, that we believe in them, and that of course they're part of something really cool, like the Dream.Us. Okay. So, and I know my colleague Melanie is asking about any suggestions for the swag. We actually do have extra swag items from last year, so we're probably gonna send you some of that repeat stuff. So we did pens, just to remind you. We did the string bags, and I think there was a third thing, if one of the advisors can remember what it was, but yeah, we did some stickers. That's right, Chris. So Dream.Us stickers, pens, and swag. And mind you, I know that there's probably like this desire to do nicer things, like maybe like a mug and maybe a thing. But remember that those things are really big and heavy, and we need to send in big amounts to your college. So think about, what is something that it's fairly cheap to produce, we can hand out, but that it needs to be for almost like 1,800 people.
Hey, Gabby or Chris, I don't know if you saw this question in the chat from Nicole about anticipating the programming running long again this year. We build other information / speakers in that day.
Yeah, I'll hand that to Chris.
Yeah, and I think Hayne actually responded to that as well. So this year we are trying to keep a really tight schedule. We did notice that it did run a little bit long last year, and students started to get a little antsy. We also anticipate that you have your own programming if you're bringing students on campus, and so we want to give time for you to be able to do your own programming on campus. So as much as we can say, we want to keep a tight 1 hour maximum schedule for that. Things happen, but that is definitely the game plan, so that again you guys can do your own individual programming on campus and the day won't be too long for students.
Okay, so I'll turn it over to you, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Gabby and Saad. Big shout out to Gabby and Saad. Like, this has been a tremendous and huge project, and like they've been working countless hours and days with the website programming team to get this all done, and like screaming at our team about content and cracking the whip. So they are on it because They know how important this is and what a resource this is for you. So big shout out to Gabby and Saad again. Now I'm gonna go into some boring stuff. Sorry about that. Gabby and Saad are the fun ones, and now I'm gonna come and bore you all for a little bit. Um, and go back to my little PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so one of the things we want to talk about is what time of the year is it, right? And so we kind of hinted to that already. It is time to renew. And we're talking about our annual scholarship renewal process. As you guys all know, we only do one renewal process a year. It is at the end of the spring semester. Here we are. And so we wanted to make sure that you guys had a little bit of information about that as we launch this process. So the application process does open up this Thursday, June 1st. Scholars are receiving emails, getting notifications about the process that they needed to complete it. They will be doing this through their Scholar ISTS portal. We will be sending them reminders throughout the next few weeks about completing the process. All eligible scholars need to renew their scholarship program. The only exceptions are the students who just received the award this year, right? So obviously this is their first year, they're not renewing, they are new scholars. They are the only exception for eligible scholars who do not need to renew. The deadline is Thursday, June 22nd. So again, we're giving them about 3 weeks to complete this process. This process is required of all eligible scholars in order for them to continue to receive funding, not only for this year, but for the next year and the year after that, right? If they do not complete their renewal process, they are deemed ineligible moving forward, right? So if you have students who are taking summer classes, and you don't want them to have issues getting onto your EBR so that you can submit their payments, make sure that they are completing their renewal process on time. You are able to actually track that now, right? So again, my amazing colleagues, Elena and Camila, have been working on the PC Scholar report to make sure that we are updating that with more information for you to be able to keep track of your scholars and their statuses and their renewal process. So on your ISTS Partner College portal, in your PC Scholar report, you will be able to see all of your students and whether they have completed the renewal process or not. So definitely recommend that you guys look at that and hopefully stay through, periodically check into your portal to check the status of your scholars renewal. Outlining that a little bit more, the PC Scholar report, there are a few new key columns that again, Elena and Camila have put into the Scholar report to help assist you with this process. I'm gonna jump around a little bit here. All the columns are not like back to back, but this is sort of what makes most sense to explaining this, right? So column AF on your Scholar portal, on your Scholar report, is the renewal eligibility column. So this is where you will see whether your scholar is eligible to renew this year, whether they're not eligible to renew, or if they're a new scholar and don't have to renew at all. This is probably the first column you want to look at and sort of check to see where your students land in these. If you have a scholar who is not eligible to renew, and you think that they should be, and you think that this might be an error, or you're trying to figure out why they're not eligible to renew, column Q is your scholar status. And here you'll be able to see where your scholar status is, where your scholar's status is in terms of their eligibility or ineligibility. So for the eligible students, you'll probably see in this column that it says new scholar or current, or if they're on a break. Yes, if they're on a break, they are still eligible and need to renew their scholarship program, right? Just because they're on a break doesn't mean that they don't need to renew. For the ineligible scholars, you'll see there's a number of different categories here. Maybe their GPA dropped below a 2.0, maybe they've maxed out, they've timed out, maybe they've already graduated, so you'll see whether they've completed their bachelor's or their associate's degree. And so you'll be able to see exactly why your student is ineligible to complete the renewal process. So again, in column O, you'll see that whether they're eligible or ineligible. And then column AG tells you the last time the student submitted a renewal. And so you'll be able to see that column if your students are completing in 2023, that's the date you want to see there in that column, because that will tell you that they've completed the renewal process this year. If you see anything other than that, if you see 2022, 2021, that was the last time that they renewed, that means that that scholar needs to renew if they are eligible. Going back to my 100 years, I'm always going like flashbacks when I talk about this stuff. One of the things I used to do was really check maybe like once a week to see that scholars were actually still completing their renewals and they were going through it, and sort of not bother them too much about it, because I knew the Dream.Us was sending them notes. I would send them maybe an email here and there about it. But when it came down to that last week, right, that week of June 19th, I would see who was still outstanding. And by this point, most of the students had already done it. But if I had maybe 5 students who had still not submitted it, that's when I got like all dad mode and started making phone calls and was like, hey, you need to get this done. You are going to lose your scholarship if you don't get this done. So really putting the fire under them to let them know that this needed to be complete. And again, if you wait for that last week or so, hopefully most of them would have done that already. And it's not too many phone calls to make. But a huge recommendations, because I've had situations where I'm talking to the student and they're like, oh, I forgot about that. I got like all this family stuff going on. And so sometimes that in-person phone call really just ignites that and make sure that the scholar does not miss out on the opportunity to renew their scholarship. There is an appeal process. So if you identify a scholar who is currently ineligible and you think that that is an error, or the scholar identifies that they are ineligible and they think it's an error, or otherwise would like to appeal their ineligibility, there is a process. So for our national scholarship, to officially submit the appeals, they will need to go to their ISTS Scholar portal. And on the right-hand side of that home screen, they will see the request form tab. This is where scholars need to go. They need to click the request form. And then once they click the request form, it's a prompt process, right? So it'll ask them what they want to do. They can list that their scholarship has been withdrawn, and they would like to appeal, and just continue to follow the prompts and follow the appeal application form. For our opportunity scholars, the request form is not available on their ISTS portal. So those scholars, if they want to appeal, would need to email hayne.lee@TheDream.Us, who manages all of our opportunity scholar programs and PCs. Now diving into summer programming, right? So I know you guys have seen, we haven't really listed any PC Power Hour dates past today. We have been breaking them up. So officially May is the end of this sort of spring semester. So that's what we sort of outlined. But we do want to keep in contact with you guys over the summer. We want to continue to provide support and training and anything that you guys need. So these will be the dates. June 27th and July 25th will be our summer PC Power Hour dates. Same time, same link. You'll get more information as those dates come across. They'll be on the PC Weekly. We'll continue to give you those announcements. But just wanted to put it onto your radar as of right now. I was talking to Hayne about this earlier, and we really are looking at the PC Power Hour to be able to be a platform where we are not only keeping you up to date with what's going on with the program and logistics of like renewals and things of that nature, but really, really a space where we can discuss best practices, right? And so we want to make sure that we are giving you the information that is needed, that you need, that is most helpful for you in working with your scholars on campus. Some of the things that we have already heard from scholars and from PCs are things is more training sessions on career pathways, regardless of work authorization. Mental health services for undocumented, specifically geared towards supporting undocumented students. We have a couple of PCs who have created some amazing peer mentor programs on their campus with scholars leading other scholars, right? And so Gabby kind of mentioned that again, like that's such a great experience, even at the new scholar welcome, where you could have older students sort of helping newer students navigate the process. And we already have a couple of PCs who have built out mentorship programs to do exactly that, not just for new scholar welcome, but throughout their college careers, right? Which is an amazing site and an amazing value to these new students going through their processes, right? So we want these to be sessions where we can help you, we can provide any knowledge gaps, provide resources, provide best practices for you all. We want to hear from you. What are other things that you might be interested in us providing supports and providing more training in? You can put it in the chat. I was gonna do a poll, but I'm not that tech savvy, so I was not able to figure that out until now. But if you put it in the chat, we could always download the chat and see what some of your recommendations are. Again, these are just some of the things that we're thinking about. You know, as we go through these sessions over the summer, we may find that we need to give a little bit more deep dives into some of these topics. I could already see like mental health services being a huge component that may end up spanning more than 1 hour session. So just sort of be on the lookout. We may throw an additional session here on one of these weeks if we feel that the content is a little too dense, that we need to maybe separate it a little bit so that it is more digestible for our PCs to get this information. The other thing that we want to sort of extend is we love you all. We love that you are there to support our students. We love our liaisons as being the point people on campuses for our students to be able to connect with. But we really also want to expand these resources and this knowledge base to your campuses throughout, right? So we allow, you know, we want to sort of extend that invitation to you all. If you have other people in your mental health counseling offices that would like to participate, who would like to just be a fly on the wall and attend these events, to know how they can support undocumented students, whether they're Dream.Us students or not. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? For there not to be just one person that knows how to deal with undocumented students in a mental health office, right? Or in the career services office, right? As we are all working to supporting these populations on your campuses, we need as many staff as possible to be able to be knowledgeable and be able to speak to your scholars and to all of your undocumented students on campus. So these sessions are open. Like, feel free to, we will send you the invites. Feel free to share that amongst your own campus communities. For others to have the knowledge, it's not all on you. One of the things that we look at is our liaisons and our scholar advisors to being a hub of sharing this information. So while you don't need to be the person always doing all of the work, you can disseminate the information and the resources so that you have a much bigger ground and can cover much bigger ground on your campuses. A couple of reminders. I want to let you guys all know again that we do have the PC Career Development Event Fund. It is still open. The application is still open. The fund helps support career events that are focused on entrepreneurship, small business ownership, and contract work on your campus. It can cover anything from food to guest speakers, alumni, student panels, and other vendor costs. We've developed a toolkit based on some of the events that we've done in Chicago and New York. And we have already started to receive a handful of applications for this. It's so interesting to see how some of the campuses have pulled things out of the toolkit and sort of what works for them, and how they've also been able to build on that and do new initiatives, as well as collaborate with nearby partner colleges, right? So big shout out. I know I owe you an email, San Antonio and TAM USA. But that's a great sort of like other concept. You can team up with another PC and just do a huge event and invite all of your scholars to get together and learn. We are accepting applications now for summer and fall. You don't have to wait for August or September to submit a application for programming in the fall. You can submit that now. We will allocate the funds as they come in, as applications come in. You know all of this already. I'm just including it in the slide at this point because you will all get the PowerPoint presentation and tomorrow's PC Weekly. So I wanted to make sure that it was sort of, again, at the top of your email or at your fingertips, the link to the application. Again, we do ask that people submit at least 2 weeks in advance of your event, but like, again, if you have something that you're planning for the fall, you can apply immediately and we will be able to reserve those funds for you. And I think with that, we want to have a little bit of an open forum. A lot was discussed and I want to give all of our PCs and partners an opportunity to ask questions, concerns, comments, feedback, recommendations of just anything that was discussed today. I see one hand already up. Dylan.
Yes, hi. Hope everyone's doing well. I have a quick question. I noticed that on our EVR report, we have more students listed than that were on the application for the incoming scholars. Is that normal, or were there extra students added to our roster? They weren't on the application. That's all. I'm just concerned about that.
Yeah, I can take that one, Dylan, because that's Farmingdale. So in New York, what happens is beautiful New York and the CUNY and SUNY system, the growing CUNYverse and SUNYverse now. What you're seeing is students who are awarded likely for either another SUNY campus or a CUNY campus who have accepted their award now for Farmingdale. So they won't show up on your applicant report, but if they are on your EVR and the PC Scholar report, that means that those are students who have accepted for Farmingdale and will now be attending Farmingdale.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Any other questions, concerns? You can feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi, I have a question. Oh, go ahead, Gabriella.
No, go ahead, Mary. Go ahead, Mary. We'll go to Gabriella next.
Okay, so I'm asking my question on behalf of Manny Lopez from Bronx Community College. And he wants to know, and I'm sorry, this is unrelated to what was went over today, but he wanted to know, and he is not sure about, he understands that we get funding and it came in, but other than tuition, what can the funds be used on? And also, how do we give the funds to the students?
Okay, so if I think I'm understanding your question correctly, this is you've completed the EVR for the tuition cost for the student, and then you've received those funds. In addition to those funds, we do provide a $750 stipend to the students. So you will see an increase from what you are usually, right? You will usually see that increase from what the tuition cost was. So you will see the $750 stipend for the students. So once you've cleared the students' tuition costs, then the college will usually issue a refund to the student so that they would be able to receive the stipend.
Okay, so that would, does that usually go through, I'm sorry, I'm completely new at this, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But does that usually go through financial aid? So it goes to their, like their account, however they receive their funds. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about that because coming from CUNY myself, and I think we're talking about the same Manny Lopez. I think I work with Manny at Gutman Community College. So give him a
Yes,
big, yeah,
that is
give him a
it.
big hug from me. So the way I used to work with it at Hunter College was I worked with financial aid
Okay.
so that they knew that the funds were coming and they could add it to the students' record so that the students would not exceed their cost of attendance. But I also worked very closely with my bursar's office because they are the ones that usually would release the refund. So they would need to know, like, these are my students, this is what the tuition cost is, and this is what they should be receiving in a stipend. And the bursar's office was actually the ones that released the refunds directly to the,
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. That definitely helps.
not a problem anytime. And Gabriella, I know you had your hand raised as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it is more than I already checked, all the students they want in the report, and I see so many students where they don't even data available. I mean, they're in my report, they don't even choose any school at all. And they look like a city tech. There's gonna be a call. I need to reach out to the students, or you guys gonna do that? How is the process? Because I have several students in the report, they are not choose City Tech or any CUNY at all.
But they've accepted their award, Gabriella?
Look like the money say that. Yeah, I see they already receive it. They're gonna receive it. And honestly, this is the last list, the report. I'm assuming they accepted the reward because I see the amount they get and the $39,000, but I don't see any, no data available, absolutely. And I have students, even they are continuous students who last semester they were City Tech, but they have holds for payments, and now they cannot get it registered because they owe money from before get the scholarship. Means even they want to register, they can because they owe money, and they cannot get the scholarship because they owe money. They don't register. It's a cycle. But I several. We're talking about several groups. Yeah, like
Yeah.
maybe 5. Yeah, this is my situation right now. Do you addressing the students as a communication? Do you want me to contact like directly?
Yeah, I'll have Chris talk to the second part of your question, Gabriella, but for the first part, if the college isn't showing, I'll go in and look at City Tech's report and see, but my guess is what happens in New York is sometimes students open up another application through ISTS. Maybe it's the DREAM Act, because the DREAM Act state aid tap is also through ISTS. And sometimes that college data gets replaced if they have a new application open or it goes blank. So let me go look and see if I can.
Oh, no, when I say no data available, means in CUNY system, CUNY first.
Oh, okay.
Blank.
Got it. That's different. That's not us.
That's my situation is because do you want me to go back and contact a student and say, hey, you need to choose a school, or you're gonna make a massive communication? If you apply and you didn't choose any school, you need to choose something or some school because you are floating. You know what I mean? I don't know other schools have the same problem because I already reviewed the whole, like 58 students I have in my list.
So I'm gonna just jump in because I'm a little confused and I just want to make sure that I'm understanding your question, Gabriella. So what you're saying is that the student is showing up on your PC report, but when you check the CUNY system, they don't have an application with your college or any college in CUNY?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Perfect. So unfortunately, and this is something that I used to go through sometimes, and it wasn't a massive scale when I was at Hunter. But the Dream.Us doesn't have access to that information, right? Like we can't have access to the CUNY system, so we don't know that the student has an application on file. We sort of go on their sort of their recommendation that they've done that. So if you do see that, I would recommend that you reach out to the students and just let them know. You receive the scholarship, to attend city, but you cannot register for classes on campus until the campus has a application on file for you. And it could be that the student maybe is interested in applying next semester, and they could have a spring application coming up, and so you won't see that in the system as of yet. So I think some of that I used to take on to just sort of figure out where the student was, whether they were like not planning on coming or if they were deferring to the spring semester to submit their application.
But I'm gonna go by 1-1. And for the other ones, until they don't pay, there's nothing I can do. They have
Yeah,
holes.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
other piece. And again, that's not something that we could sort of manage because we can't tell CUNY to remove the holds.
Mhm.
And even yourself, like when I was at Hunter and I had students coming in from other campuses, my bursar, the bursar's hold is the one like universal hold in the system. So if they have a hold in another campus, they won't be able to enroll in yours. So the student just needs to know that they need to go to the original campus and resolve their the outstanding bill, or they will not be able to register on your campus.
I'm gonna go through names and try to figure out how to help them. I'm gonna go by 1-1. Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. Any other questions, concerns, feedback? What do you guys want us to put us on the website? What do you guys want me to do for the summer?
I would just add, Chris, that Saskia did put in the comments about potential ideas for sessions, and she said would benefit from a session on creating an on-campus fellowship program for students of all immigration statuses. And Nicole, thank you, did respond with our recording from a previous session she did. So again, we also, Chris, I'll pass it back to you, but maybe just a quick reminder on the different opportunities we also have currently ongoing for our scholars.
Yes. So a couple of different things that we still have going as well. So as Hayne just mentioned, Nicole is leading our career services work here at TheDream.Us, and has been doing amazing work with Candy Marshall to develop internship programs that are paid, that our scholars can have access to through Parker Dewey. They are able to work with our campuses and do internships either on or outside of campus. And again, receive funding for that. Again, Nicole has all that information. If you guys want more information on that, you could either email myself or Nicole, and we can provide you additional details on that. We also have the fellowship program that our scholars are also available to, and PCs have to develop that programming. There are learning objectives associated to that. But it does provide opportunities, again, for our students and our scholars to take advantage of these fellowship opportunities and get paid for them, again, through Parker Dewey. In addition to that, we also have our professional career grants, which we are providing resources, financial resources for students to attend professional conferences. We are covering the cost of the registration fee, hotels, and flights as the major expenses for these conferences. We currently have 2 groups that we are already in process of taking. We're taking a group of education students to the Innovative School Summit that's going to be held in Atlanta, a group of pre-health students to the Pre-Health Dreamers Conference that will be held in LA, And we are also doing Alpha and SHIP as group conferences, where we will take a group of Dream.Us scholars to these conferences. Pre-Health Dreamers and the education event is already closed out. Alpha and SHIP are still open, and you can find all the information on our website. I see Hayne has already put the links on the chat. So if you have students who are interested in attending any of these conferences, please feel free to send them the information and make sure that they apply before the deadline. In addition to the group conferences, we also have an individual conference request. So if students are interested in doing a specific conference that is not part of these group conferences, they can apply for funding, and we will be able to provide them funding, having them meet the eligibility requirements to attend those conferences on their own. And again, it will cover the same, it will cover the conference fee, the flights, and the hotels. So those are some of the programming, and I'm not sure if I missed anything, but we have internships, fellowships, and conference grants, all available for scholars, all ongoing. So if you want any more information on that, please reach out to us, and whoever's spearheading that project will be able to get back to you. Any other questions, concerns?
Oh, the only thing I can add is maybe I'm being start contact with the BMI Blackmail Initiative. I used to be member when I was in the school, and I completely forgot them. And is if you have a BMI in your schools, reach out to them. They have their own rooms. They lend books to the students. They help them with tutors, assistant majors. They have computers. They do events, and it's for not necessarily blackmails. It's for anybody. Because I see a woman and any ethnicity, any student, any minority student who is searching for support, you only need to be registered in the school, and they help you with books, tutors, and they have computer labs and most of the programs, and they take students to conference and everything. And I go back to them after a lot of time. I forgot them, and then maybe think about it in your schools. It's an excellent source for the students and STEM majors.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabriella. Oh, that reminds me, we also have a program that Nicole is spearheading with Teach for America to provide also a fellowship opportunity for students. Regardless of work authorization, the students do not need DACA or TPS. But if they do not have that, which would afford them a social security number, they can apply for the Teaching for America's Fellowship Program if they have an ITIN number. So that's another opportunity being available for our scholars through our program. And I think I finally got it all. I see we are at time. So I will leave that all with you guys. Again, please email me if you have any questions regarding anything that we have talked about today. If you want me to put you into contact with someone else who may be running a specific program, please feel free to reach out. We're here to put connections and resources in your hands. So with that, please have a great rest of your week. And we look forward to meeting with you again next month. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you.